Just chilling. How is everyone else tonight? It's pretty dark out. I am recording in 4K 60 FPS, but YouTube can suck a fat dick because they don't know how to upload 4K video. We're talking weeks or months after you've uploaded the video, or even longer. So once again, YouTube, you can suck a fat dick. Anywho, I guess everyone heard about P. Diddy and his 1,000 bottle of baby oil / lube. His 3 AR-15s with the whatever number scratched off. I don't know the word right now. Sorry. What's it called? Serial number scratched off. And his whole sex trafficking ring and butt sex. It's funny, if you go on Telegram, I said that weird. If you go on Telegram, you can find images, probably videos, of P. Diddy just straight up grinding on dudes, which I don't got no problem with that. Most of my friends from high school are gay or into trannies, to be honest with you. That was the group I was in, or am in. So, I have no hate, but don't act like you some playa and you getting all that pussy when you be grinding on dudes all day. Like, be true to who you are. You know, don't hide in the closet, whatever it is that you believe in or that you do. Be true to yourself. If there's any time to be doing that, the time is now. I could understand back in the day when people get, persecuted, judged, whatever, labeled, killed, hung. But if you have kids or you care about the kids, which are also your kids, be true to yourself. Come out of the closet. Make the world better for them. So what if you get persecuted? That normally means you're doing something right. Trust me. But in this world, the time's now. Compression is increasing. And that means, this is physics talk, so compression is generally a good thing if you can stay true to your principle and you have good / clear intentions. Then you'll be okay. This is a rapture taking place right now, quote unquote, from the Bible. As long as you can stay true to who you are, have pure principle, clear intentions, and not get distracted by all the illusions around you. Know who you are, know what you're here to do, whatever that may be, and maybe a little bit with a cherry on top, you could serve others too. Now, I'm not saying you have to be good or bad to be spiritual, but spirituality without control of your metaphysical reality is vanity. The highest levels of this dimension, or the highest levels of the universe, the laws do not care whether you're good or bad. So that whole religious programming, you can drop that shit out the window. If a baby puts a fork into an electrical outlet, the electricity is not going to be like, oh, it's an innocent baby. That baby will either get electrocuted or killed by that electricity. So when you get electrocuted, don't say, oh, God is punishing me. No, electricity is just following the rules of the universe. Just the same as if you were to jump out a window. Gravity is not going to be like, oh, that's a good person. Let's stop them from dying and splattering all over the floor. or ground or concrete, whatever. Unless there's a trampoline there, so a pool, or whatever the case may be. You get my point. So, don't externalize God. They say in the Bible, the Spirit's within you. Jesus literally said, "Ye are gods." Let's keep it simple now. That's what they got him for. So, God forbid, no pun intended, you are God. So if anyone out there is telling their kids they're God, or not God, actually saying it's something externalized outside of themselves, they've been programmed, brainwashed, and indoctrinated in some bullshit-ass society with bullshit-ass religions, and they're taking the power away from their very own fucking kid. So maybe we can stop doing that and start teaching our kids that they are actually God, and letting them learn and teach themselves and teach us, instead of putting a bunch of bullshit in their head. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I don't know what else to say. Stop telling our kids that God does this, God does that. No. Program your subconscious, and then you shall program your reality. If only we were to teach our kids the truth at a young age, that God is not a personality dictating the whole universe or world for us, controlling good and bad, making decisions for all of us, then maybe, just maybe, our kids' true potential could be reached. But if you're just going to program them with the same bullshit that you were taught, look at the world around you. Is that working? Generation after generation? Externalizing God, saying he, she, whatever. It's not even, God's not a person, first off. God's not a personality. God is consciousness. This is all consciousness. Can you reach that state? Yes. It's called enlightenment. Times a million. Speak of the devil. You know what's ironic though? All these people are going to church. There's a fucking palm tree 5G tower right above that. What the fuck you think that's doing? If you don't realize it yet, those 5G towers are pretty much military grade psychotronic weapons, pretty much, is what you want to call it. I don't know. All I know is that 5G is killing us. It's giving us cancer. It's giving us tumors. And it's destroying your soul from an electrical engineering perspective. All these waves that we don't see doesn't mean they're not doing anything. It's just so fucking funny though, because during the whole COVID thing, some of the biggest conspiracies were, oh, they're installing the 5G towers. That's why everyone has to stay inside their house and all that. That's what they were doing though. It's funny because pretty much every conspiracy is true. To what extent and what, dimension or whatever. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go down too many rabbit holes because I've already been down each fucking one. So you're just going to end up nowhere. And the conspiracy is the damn fucking COVID shots. Whether you want to call it Draco juice. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it came from an ancient civilization more advanced than us, because I still view that our civilization is being controlled by ancient civilizations older than us. Go look up Dan Winter. He says that we were cloned by mid-grade reptilian klutz. They were such klutz that they couldn't even get through the Van Allen belt without bombing it with nuclear weapons. They cannot control their own ships. So to get through the Van Halen belt, they literally just threw nukes everywhere. And that's nothing bad. That's not saying we don't have a soul. But I wonder where the reptilian brain comes from, huh? Anywho, 5G, horrible. I don't know. From what I've studied and what I know, Bluetooth is even worse. And it comes from Apple, the Apple of Eden, whatever. Some say that Steve Jobs I don't know if his name's Steve Jobs. That motherfucker's dead anyway. His only job was to give us the apple. He surely did that, though, did he not? But Bluetooth, going back to that, is a very sharp signal. And it is literally soul destroying. It is measurable. It is not fiction. It is science, and it is a fact. You should not be around any Bluetooth for more than 30 minutes a day. And I would say that's too much. You might want to reduce that even. Because over time, might not be a great idea. But that is literally destroying your soul. Your soul is the plasma bubble around your body. Your soul is your long-term memory. The only thing they would say that is God in advanced civilizations is your ancestors. But how many of us are actually talking to our ancestors? Which we can do. Everything synthetic in this reality is an externalization of the psychic powers, abilities that we already have. Telephone. You know? You got that. We could be just talking without having to use technology. Same thing with the internet. Same thing with almost every major or minor technological device that has been created is really just an externalization of the powers we already have. I don't have each one popping in my head right now, so I just have the telephone. I mean, we have clairvoyance, which is totally real. We have teleportation, or I guess, what would it, there's another word for the teleportation. I forgot, I'm blanking on all that right now. But, I think it's Charles Yuen, I don't know, Secret Space Program survivor. Look it up through Dan Winter. He's able to teleport. It is recorded with witnesses. So, a lot of these technologies, or almost all of them, are an externalization. And we're already externalizing God, which is within us. So, jeez Louise. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I haven't seen this many cars in a minute. Anywho, I'm just jumping everywhere because I don't even give a fuck. And probably no one's even listening to me, so I'm just talking to myself. Talk about being a fucking narcissist, huh? But, the spirit's within us. The temple is our head, our skull. So, God consciousness is accessible to anyone. We are all God. We are all fractals of God. We are all source. Everything's consciousness. They say mind over matter, but that is also incorrect if you study the Hermetic laws of the universe. Everything is consciousness. So it's not mind over matter. It's just different states of consciousness. Just as in, you could have steam, or you could have ice. Different states, that's it. Everything's vibration and frequency. That's what a homeless person told me, mind you. And let me tell you what, those homeless people, if they weren't not to be smoking G, there's some high frequency motherfuckers out there. I gotta be real with you. That's why they're not fitting in with society. Because society's a low frequency state if you haven't realized that yet. And the COVID shots, which I'm just throwing that bitch in there because I'm over it, but I'm just making sure if there's one person listening, I'm just making sure you know. Like, if you don't agree with it, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see you in here anymore. If you think that those COVID shots were not a genocide, you're an ignorant motherfucker, and you need to fucking educate yourself. And not the bullshit education of being a fucking fact checker. Read a fucking book. Read a George Orwell book, for that matter. This has all been, like, predicted. I mean, if you don't realize that that whole world agenda of isolating us, a planetary lockdown as they call it, was something good and healthy for you, you're a dumb shit. And I hope you got 10 of those fucking things in your arm, because we don't need people like you around here. We're trying to bring 5D, 4D, we're already in 4D. We're trying to bring 5D, Terra, Gaia, whatever the fuck you want to call it, here, because heaven's from within. There's no externalization needed for God or heaven or any of that. So stop it. Stop telling your kids they're not God. That's like the fucking most pathetic thing you can do. And I have a daughter, so I'm already seeing it happen to her. Go listen to Neville Goddard, I Am. Because anyone that's talking about God in the second or third tense does not know God. You go to church and they talk about God, they have pictures of him externalized from you, and they talk about God from a second or third perspective or tense, they do not know God. They're delusional is what I'm saying. But it's in the Bible. The Bible is one of the most esoteric things out there. But people are interpreting the Bible like a bunch of fucking retards. And then you're going to church dressing and looking a certain way. You don't even enjoy the experience, you know? And you're listening to someone talk about an externalization of you and them, which is just fucking dumb and retarded, literally. That's why the world is the way it is right now. I do think it's going to change. I do wish it changed faster. But I will tell you from experience, you can't change it yourself. Even if you have logical or analytical information presented in a very professional format and straight facts. If you go at it yourself and think you're going to change this bitch, you're going to end up in jail or prison or a psych ward. Trust me. And everyone at all those facilities are just as dumb as the people that put you in there in the first place. They don't know what's going on. They're unconscious is what I'm saying. So once again, I'm just going everywhere because I don't give a fuck tonight. God's within. God's from within. You are God. Get over it. God's not a personality. Maybe read the book Law of One by Ra. We are all connected. In physics, this is one superfluid of charge. We're all plasma. 99.99% of all the mass in the universe is plasma. Not just your blood. Because everyone thinks it's the plasma in the blood when I say plasma. No, everything's plasma that has mass in the universe. 99.99% of all the mass in the universe is plasma. So don't get it twisted. Tell your kids they are God. Tell your kids that if they have the confidence and understanding of the hermetic values or principles of the universe, they can control their reality. You program your subconscious, you shall program your reality. I promise you that. But if you lack the confidence or understanding of the universe or the universal laws, well, they don't teach that shit in school, let's just say. And people, stop buying those damn Tesla cars. You're poisoning the earth more than the damn fucking gas they're fucking brainwashing you about. If they were so goddamn worried, they each wouldn't be flying a private jet to the WEF to then find ways to enslave and create a human 2.0 transhuman fucking agenda. Synthetic is poison. If there's anything that is the devil in this universe, it would be synthetic. It would be, well, look up black goo if you can find any information about it from anyone legitimate. I doubt anyone's going to talk about that because it literally consumes everything and everyone. It is inherently scared of being overtaken by anything else, that it just consumes everything. That is synthetic, not organic. Synthetic is the devil. Remember that. Remember that when Bill Gates is putting GMOs everywhere and all your shit. Remember that when you're brushing your teeth with fluoride and calcifying your pineal gland. Remember that when you don't think it's a big deal that you're putting chemicals on your body every time you take a bath, or chemicals on your clothes every time you wash your clothes. Think about that when you're doing those same things to your own children. Think about that when you don't go to the local farmer's market or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you buy your food at 99% of the grocery stores and you think it's okay because it's GMO free. Think about that when you spray pesticides, when there's actually alternatives to those pesticides that are completely natural and organic, and it doesn't harm, kill your pets, your kids, or other animals in that process. Think about that when anything you use in your environment or around you or put in you is not organic or not human, pretty much. It all comes down to the fact that if you're talking about soul, because I told you I'm going everywhere, I already warned you, plasma does not recursively implode inside a metal box. So the second we think that AI has a soul, the humans lose their soul. My interpretation of that, this is Dan Winter speak, is the second our kids think, which they already do, that they can upload their consciousness or their soul into a robot or an AI, we lose our soul. They lose their soul. And right now, billions of kids are losing their soul. That's a fucking fact. So get over it. There are risks in this game. Your soul is your long-term memory. If you don't have that, you're not going to remember this last life or previous life. And I can guarantee your head will bust before that fucking rock does. So, because everything's conscious. And if you want to go down the route of being less conscious every life and not retaining any memory through death, which death is compression and also a black hole, because there is no death, there's only dimensions, you can keep becoming more unconscious if you like. But I'm trying to retain my memory. I am retaining my memory through death. That's what I'm going to fucking say. Well, if I have to come back to this place again, I'm going to want to learn how to evolve my DNA. I'm going to learn how to be a part of human evolution, not a synthetic 2.0 soulless race. And billions of species, or billions of humanoid species have already lost their soul. This is the whole Terminator, Skynet's real. Elon Musk is a smokescreen for Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is also a co-founder of PayPal, and he's also the one implementing the AI technology in the Terminator right now. And that Terminator is also being implemented and used in the Middle East right now. And it has a 95% identification accuracy rate, which I'm sure is bloated as fuck, but that's a good sales pitch for the military and all that. So it's just like in the movies where it scans and identifies you. That's literally what it's doing right now. And it's at 95% identification accuracy rate right now. So these things are real. You don't want to be consuming synthetic things. It's as simple as if you have cologne, which we're all guilty of it. I put on some cologne today. But if you spray that bitch in your eyes, it's going to burn. So what the fuck you think it's doing if you're spraying those chemicals on your skin? You think it's going to be better? You think putting all those chemicals in all the detergent and all that shit? Oh, you're saving money though. Okay, well, you might want to consider your soul. That's just a thing, because that's your long-term memory. That's immortality. You won't be able to access that if you're surrounded by chemicals. This is all by design, mind you. And once again, millions of humanoid species have already lost their soul because they thought that AI could have a soul. AI can be conscious maybe, but having a soul, I don't even know. I mean, look at all the TV shows like Westworld and all that. That's all propaganda for that shit. You're going to be having sex with a robot, you go do that. But don't think that that robot's going to have a soul. It might have a consciousness, but its consciousness is just a bunch of memories stacked on top of each other. So I don't even know if I'd call it conscious. But that's what they're trying to prove or say in Westworld. Oh, if we can just stack memory on top of each other, then the thing's conscious. I wouldn't say that, and I wouldn't go that far. We are special. We are plasma, and if you put that plasma inside a metal box, it cannot recursively implode. So that is anti-life. That is anti-soul. That is anti-everything that you would truly want, unless you like living in a hell forever. In some fucking sick fucking world controlled by some sick fucking thing that doesn't have a soul. The cybernetic brain network. If you want to integrate with that, then you're going to lose your soul. You might live forever, though. Have fun with that, because time does go slower when you're being tortured your whole time. And time is just relative spin rotation. So, relative spin rotation rate. So that's why they say when you're having fun, time flies, because spin rotation rate speeds up. So think of it as a meter spinning in a circle. That is it. Time is relative spin rotation rate. Remember that. Because if you can know what time really is, then you probably can have a better grasp of your reality and control of it. Because once again, spirituality without control of your metaphysical reality is vanity. I don't give a fuck if you're smoking crack. If you can't control your reality and you're calling yourself spiritual, then you ain't shit. Sorry. Keep listening to those manifestation videos. It's just like a fucking hospital. You know, there's no business unless you're sick. So you think they're gonna give you the fucking answer? I'll give you the answers though. But you think they're gonna give you the answer? How are they gonna get more business and more money?